the different types of staves that I've kind of collected. Just went to a Home Depot run and picked up a whole bunch of new things to play with overall. And I kind of want to see what the difference is between different materials, because somebody asked, like, how cheap can I do this? And well, the answer is pretty damn cheap. The cheapest thing that I got was $3.58 altogether. And so you can make a staff or a staff-like thing really, really inexpensively overall. Some of you could probably even find recycled if you really wanted to look that hard for it. So what I want to do is let's go through every single different piece of equipment that I got and kind of go over relative cost of everything and what kind of the function or what I think about it overall. So first off, we're gonna start by looking at the baby of all the pieces that I got. I don't know how long it is. I think it's like 3 feet long. Yeah, that seems about 3 feet long. I do have a student that I train with. He's only 6 years old, and I think this would be about perfect for his size overall. What's neat with it is, of course, even as an adult, you can whip it. The thing is, it goes so fast that it's kind of hard to keep up with overall. It just really, really takes off with it. And that's the thing with really, really light stabs, is as you get stronger, you can go too fast with it. You can overall, and my hands at some point almost don't really want to keep up. If I try to go any further than that, it's probably gonna whip out of my hands. It's also really nice for really just short, intense pieces overall. It can also be used as a cane of a martial arts weapon overall, a little bit more thrusty in that regard. Not something I'll probably use a lot, but for $5, not so bad for the ability to be able to learn the basic movements overall. Moving on up, we're going bigger, thicker, and longer. This one is a dowel that we pre-cut for my partner's height, so a little bit shorter than I would necessarily do, but it's at the lower end, again, because again, temple to about 2 inches taller. This thing is thicker, so it's about 1 inch overall in diameter, and it is much, much heavier because of the thickness of it. That being said, it is the right height. It would be a little bit hard to learn with when you first start, but it'd be really good for strength training overall. That being said, because wood prices are kind of crazy right now, it was about $2.58 per foot, which run us just under $15 overall with this piece. Yeah, it takes a little bit extra momentum overall to stop the spin in any regard because it's got that extra heft. Going from there, this one was kind of for fun. So this is a piece of steel. It's 60 inches long, 3/4 of inch in diameter, and it is heavy. It has got some real heft to it. That being said, you can still spin it. Like, it takes a little bit extra to get it going, but also a little bit extra to get it to stop. So if we get some decent speed behind it, just getting it to stop, I can't really do it with one hand. Kind of even as I started to, I could feel my wrist didn't want to, so I took the other hand to stop it in general. But you could also take some time to go from faster and then let it slow down a little bit more natural overall. It definitely wouldn't be something I'd start out with the first time, but man, could you get some forearm and shoulder strengthening from spinning this for even just a couple minutes overall, because this thing is so thick and heavy when it comes to. I don't know how heavy that thing is, but man, it is way heavier than anything else I've trained with in a long time. All right, and this piece overall, this is the lightest of everything. It was also the cheapest. I got an entire 10-foot piece of PVC, and this is PVC, I think it was PC 40, which is a little bit thicker than PVC 200, but it also means it doesn't like wobble as much. That was one of the other things with PVC, is it might give a little bit too much and we'll go back and forth, but this thing will go just fine, and I'm not worried about it taking any weird angles overall as I work with it. Definitely the cheapest option of everything. Really, really light and really nice because it's not gonna hurt if it hits you, because it's got a little bit more give than any of the wood or the steel that I just bought. The steel would definitely not have any give overall, but only $2.58 for 10 feet of this. Now, one of the things I forgot to mention with it too is, I haven't done it in a long time, but when I used to LARP, you can take a standard pool noodle and literally just cut it and put it on either side, because the hollow bit will literally go right through. And then you could use it to, like, you know, have some padded fighting utensils, because as we know, PVC is the most practical for fighting, but it's also the most fun because, again, it's not gonna hurt as much as other things might overall. And then this here, I wanted to show, this is what you've probably seen me doing a lot of my videos in. This thing is really tall. Now, you've heard me say, you know, about temple height to 2 inches taller. This is significantly taller than I am because it's technically meant to be a waxwood spear. overall. But you can use things that are a little bit taller, but you have to worry about the fact that it might hit the ground, and it makes it more complicated. It also makes it easier to hit yourself in the shins. This I got in back in martial arts school. I honestly don't have any memory of what it costs, but it is a white wax wood, and it's really nice because there's like no chance that you're ever gonna get a splinter or anything in it for any movement that you might be doing or sliding overall. But again, especially skills behind the back, it's hard to use something so tall. And then finally, this one's my personal favorite. It's not very durable, and you can even see, like, as I've used it over time, it's beaten up, it's chipped, the paint is coming off. I had to tape it because I almost broke it once when I hit something with it. This is a double tapered, it's technically called a pakwa staff. I have no idea what kind of wood it has, but it's light, it feels good in the hands, it's got enough weight that I feel like I can whip it without losing control of it. And it's just the right diameter. And again, just about that 3/4 inch, maybe a little bit more thin than that overall. But this is my absolute favorite piece. I am worried that one day it's gonna break and I'll never be able to replace it. But maybe at that point, I'll finally go get a lightsaber like some of my friends on TikTok have. Yeah, and that kind of does it. That's the different pieces that I have today. We did 1, 2, 3, 6 different implements overall, minus the broom. I forgot to show the broom. So I forgot to mention, like, let's say, again, you forget, you're like, I want to train with a staff, but I don't, what am I gonna use? I don't have anything lying around. Well, you have a broom somewhere. If you're really lucky, the head will twist off. Now, I went to Home Depot, and every single one of the ones that I played with there, you could twist off the head of the broom and use it as just a stick. Now it's short, it's light, it's great. I happen to have a broom that does not twist off, so I'm stuck with it over here, but it's not out of luck yet. If you have a broom like this, every other time I've trained, I've told you to hold it in about the center of the weight. Well, the weight is gonna be more heavily centered towards this side, so I can hold it, do the Thanos effect of, like, you know, where is perfectly balanced, somewhere about right here, and that's where I'm gonna wanna hold it. It's gonna make it feel a little different, but we can do all of our spins with that as the focal point overall, and it'll still work just fine. Again, yeah, sure, like, things get a little different as you take it behind, but you can think of how this might translate to other skills overall. So again, 7 different like implements that you might be able to use for it overall. And really just anything long and cylindrical will really do the job, even if it's weighted on one side. All right, let's go and read. If you have any questions, feel free to leave me a comment or a direct message below. Otherwise, there will be more variations, combinations, and transitions in the description below when those are available, as well as will be some future workouts with this overall. If you're not already, feel free to follow me on Twitch, where we'll do a lot of these classes live, and we'll do some group workouts overall on the different movements. Just make sure you're somewhere where you're not gonna break a lamp or a mirror or something of the like. And again, my name is Derek, this is Superhero Fitness, and I'll see you next time. Bam, 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 bam. Hi, Susan. Low-key worried about that I'm gonna hit myself. I started being like tentative because I'm really just excited to... Oh man, I'm just hitting myself. Oh. And then I find out it's not real. It was just, come back around. Stop hitting yourself, Derek. Bet that would be fine. That would be fine and not embarrassing at all. Let's just play with some staff spins that I'm recently figured out, and we'll drop the staff sometimes.